Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 133 of Photo Critiques. And in this episode, I'm pleased to critique the work of Dave Cohen. Dave sent me in some really nice shots. In this first one, really nice shot. We got a photographer taking a picture of a photographer right here. And I like that you used the 24 to 70 millimeter lens at 70 millimeters. And when you do that, it kind of compresses everything. If you were at 24 millimeters, it would have pushed all these lights further apart. But using it at 70, it kind of compresses the scene and sucks everything in closer to the camera. So I like that in this effect. It really exaggerates how these lines work because everything is smushed kind of a little bit closer together. Now, for example, now if you would have used, let's say, a 70 to 200 millimeter lens and used 200 millimeters and stood back, all these lights would have been even more on top of each other and smushed closer together as everything got zoomed in closer. So I like the choice you did here of 70 millimeters. At 24, everything would have been spread out more, and these guys would have been further apart from each other. I'm not sure if he's a photographer too. The image is a little dark, but I like that. But if you wanted to bring the the shadows up, yeah, he's a photographer too. So we got a couple photographers here. So it's kind of a cool shot though. I kind of like it lighter too. It's kind of, your own personal taste of how you like it. The only thing I could suggest is this is one to work the scene. You are standing kind of, I'm sure you had it on a tripod probably at 0.3 seconds. But I'd kind of like to try to work this bench better. And get rid of this over here. So you could exaggerate this line of this bench maybe by putting your camera lower and shooting along this axis or this plane of this line of this bench or this line of the bench, and shoot the same way down the pier and see what type of image you might work out that way. So it all comes down to working the scene and trying different things. This one here, I was looking at it, and my initial reaction, it's a very nice exposure. I like it. I like the sky. It's 1/25th of a second, f of 5.6. The nice kind of splash of the surf coming into these rocks. But as I look at it, I'm wondering about scale. I could imagine someone standing here and being tiny. Then I can imagine someone standing there and being big, because it's kind of odd. You don't really understand the scale here. This is, beyond a study of surf, there's really not a lot here to look at. There's not, a boat in the water. There's not any really kind of leading line, anything like that. This would be a nice shot you take, and then you use it for later on. You use it as a composite. You put somebody in here. You put something in here. So exposure-wise, it's perfect. I like your shutter speed's perfect. Everything's nice. Just missing that subject, and we're missing something to add scale. So it's kind of unusual. We don't really know how big this is. It's a beautiful shot. This is really a really nice job. Almost like a postcard. You got the nice reflections over here. This was 1/25th of a second at f of 5.6, 33 millimeter lens on your 16 to 35 millimeter lens. Really well done. You controlled the light very well because it was really in shadow over here and very bright over here, and you have it balanced real nice. I really like the job you did on this. I like this shot a lot too. You guys remember in previous critiques I said if you have two subjects, you want to try to avoid having them overlap, one in front of the other, one obscuring the other, unless you're doing some type of arty thing. And you can see we have these two subjects, but Dave was careful that they didn't overlap, that he has some separation between the two. And I think that just adds to the shot. We're selective focus. We're focused on this statue here. This one's slightly blurry at f of 9, ISO 100, 40 millimeter lens. And I think it's a really, really nice shot. Really nice composition, Dave. It's a nice shot. I'll say it again. I say it all the time. Whenever you focus on anything with eyes, you want to make sure the eyes are in perfect focus. And Dave did that here. It was a 400 millimeter lens, so it's very well done. I love the color. I love how it's very just the way the the whole scene is laid out. It's really nice. I like this shot. I like too that the seal's head is up here where it's like clear, it's not busy. So if the head was over, let's say where there were rocks like this behind it, it wouldn't have been as powerful. It would have blended in. So you positioned yourself in a good spot where you would get this kind of clear shot around the head. This is another, these scenes are tough to photograph too. You know, we got some just, very unusual old school bus. So, you know, it's like one where you work the scene and you get different angles and try to get closer, further away, do some type of macros, stuff like that. And so, you know, it's really, like I said, hard. The sky doesn't look very good, so you got to do whatever you could do to minimize the sky. The ground isn't very good, so you got to minimize the ground. So you got to kind of work the scene to maximize what is interesting. And really, as I glance at the scene, the only thing that really looks interesting is the bus itself. Looks like we have a sign back here too. You might, you want to avoid showing that. There's something sticking up over here. Through the windows it looks like it's busy over on that other side. So it's a tough scene to work. It's a nice shot too. I like the processing. Very nice color. Focus is really strong. 1/250th of a second at f11, ISO 100. Very nicely done. This is a nice shot. We have some people in here. This one, now we have some scale. We could see we have the bicycle. We have people just milling about. Nice leading lines, receding lines of this, the train tracks, and the tree line and the wire, and really nicely done. Very nice shot. I like this one a lot. It's kind of an abstract art shot, selective focus. We're focused over here. Everything else is kind of blurry. We have reflections. I consider that an art shot, really not one I critique. It's kind of, in the eye of the photographer. I like that you got everything in. You didn't cut any of these off. This was probably the Golden Gate. Was this San Francisco? Yeah, that's the Golden Gate back there. I like this. I wish the bench wasn't cut out because the bench looks interesting with the graffiti on it. The fishing pole going across here kind of cut out. So I kind of wish this wasn't cut out. That if it was just backed up just a little bit more. We have really some flare coming out from the light. Using at f22 really exaggerates this burst effect. So that kind of really dominates the shot and in a pleasing way. It's really a nice image there, and to do that at 30 seconds f22, so it's a lot of work to get it so it's exposed this well. So you did a nice job. This shot here, the color just comes out and grabs you. Very well done, saturated. I mentioned before, if you're going to saturate a color, just usually only saturate one color. Don't saturate all the colors because it just overloads our brain and it's not pleasant to look at. And in this case, we just have the red really saturated. I mean, there's a tiny bit of blue down here, but really the red. And it's a really nice shot. It's tough. It's a huge boat, so we couldn't get it all in. The another one, I don't know how fast it was going past you, and if you took a series of shots, and if you had the opportunity to zoom out to get the whole boat in. Some of the back, looks like the background was interesting. The sky wasn't though. So I don't know if you were able to get more shots of this boat as it went by, but it looks like it's an interesting subject to shoot. This shot's really nice. I like this one a lot too. We kind of have this leading line of this dead tree down here, helps lead you through the scene. We also have the way the bay, or I'll call it the bay, I guess, comes in. We have this slight framing over here of these two trees, and it's a really nice shot. And the clouds, of course, are really nice. Don't see any sensor spots, and that's good. And it's a really, really nice shot. Very well done. I like this too. It looks like this statue has personality, and I like that. That's our job as photographers. Even if it's something's inanimate, we have to make it look alive. We have to make it look interesting. And I think in this case, Dave did a great job with this simple shot, really, but the exposure is perfect. Nice focus on the eye, the fake eye, but it's still an eye. And it's a really nice job. We could see all this texture and detail in the sculpture. Very well done. This here looks like the light was pretty harsh, a really strong side light, and Dave used that to his advantage by shooting, kind of shooting a sweeping across the scene to really let the light show off the textures of the building and all the detail in this. The composition itself I don't care for as much. We kind of have this kind of ugly rusted white fire escape over here. We have this over here, which I think is the more interesting item. So it's another one where you come across to work the scene, see what you could do, and get different types of shots. This shot I like a lot. I think the color balance is off a little bit though. Let me see if I could. So you take this, just a side dropper, and come right in here. Yeah, I think that's better there. See, these are more white now, and before it was a lot more yellow. There's before, there's after. And I think that's all that I would recommend on this, is just double check your color balance, because I think these look better more white, and then you have this contrasting colors coming around, whereas this way everything's really kind of a yellow cast on it. There, yeah, that's it. I like the composition though. I like the lines, and I like the way you did it. Very well done. Very nice shot. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it for Dave. Dave, thank you very much for sharing your work with us. Very talented photographer. Thanks a lot. And I'd like to thank everyone that watches all my videos. I really appreciate it. And if you guys have time, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com, before I lose my voice, and watch all the videos I have over there and articles on photography. And I'd really appreciate it if you go over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.